DreamHack Masters Winter is brought to you by Intel, Corsair, Monster Energy, and MSI.
Welcome back to the DreamHack Masters Winter. We've got Gambit versus Astralis as our second quarterfinal of the day on the A stream. It's going to be red on red. These teams are going to be seeing red, and they're going to be striking out against each other very soon indeed. My name is Frankie Ward. I have got Scrawny, I have got Launders with me, and hopefully I've got you guys too in Twitch chat, because it's time for another buff, last sports buff. And this, to be honest, is quite a hard question, and I don't know how any of you are going to get it right, but make sure you've got the Twitch extension activated so you can have a pop at it, because the question is, what was the first ever map played in the DreamHack Masters? A, Nuke, B, Inferno, C, Mirage, or D, Dust 2?
Mirage.
This Masters or the very
first Masters?
I don't know if I was born yet.
I think it's the very first Masters. It could be the first one of DreamHack Masters Winter. Let's just check.
Okay, we're checking.
I just said production. Which Masters are we talking here? The one in Stockholm. Okay, right. We're talking about 2018. So just glad we clarified that there. So was it Nuke, Inferno, Mirage, or Dust 2? DreamHack Masters Stockholm 2018, which was won by Norv. And I was there on the finals day when NIP left. I sort of walked into a sea of NIP fans being like, sod this, they're out. And it was also where I was like vlogging, and I was like watching it going, I really wish that I got to do that one day. And now here I am with you boys.
I wasn't there.
Oh, that's your like Plopsky story.
Yeah.
It is like my Plopsky story. I was in the crowd. I interviewed Freiburg about bananas. And then I hosted an award show in the Globe the next day.
Nice.
And I never thought I'd get to work with the likes of you guys on Counter-Strike.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's been all right so far. I do feel like an imposter, but hopefully I'm not going to get found out. Let's talk about Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge, because we do have our qualified teams. And this is kicking off on the 15th of December. 8 teams here. The groups are already live on the website as well. I mean, the mystery for me is what Chaos are going to rename themselves to, but I'm really hoping that they stick around for this one.
Organized Esports Club.
Organized Esports Club. I think Vitality are going to be one of the favorites going into that event. They look so good at the moment. I believe substitutions are going to be allowed because it's a thing now. It's normal, it's average, it's come to Counter-Strike, and I think we're stronger for it. I feel like we needed this after a tough year.
Yeah, they've been very consistent with Navera. Scary, and getting him on 2 maps, even scarier. His average rating is through the roof. It'll be hard to take down Vitality. Definitely the strongest team right now, I think.
Let's take a look at the bracket and see where we're at with the playoffs. I don't know if we've got a result for Heroic Godsent yet. It's currently 15-10. So
they're coming back.
Are on the comeback on train. Yes. So if you go to twitch.tv/DreamHackCS2, you can bring open that quarterfinal in another tab. And before our extended break, Mouse conquered Cloud9 to book a spot in the semi-final. But coming up next, we've got Gambit versus Astralis. The B stream are going to have Fury at Complexity. And this is going to be such an interesting matchup because these two teams have not played each other before.
We have 2 big wins for Gambit coming into today. One versus Complexity, one versus Cloud9. Or sorry, one versus Complexity.
One versus Cloud9.
Oh yeah, it's the third
Cloud9
the
first.
third
It's
X-Men.
just that we
third
didn't cover
X-Men.
Cloud9 on this stream.
Reference to the tweet.
The X-Men that nobody knew was actually out there. Gambit slips through.
How many likes have you got on that tweet now?
1 point something thousand.
We need to up it. Okay. Who are you guys in Twitch chat voting for? Who do you think is going to win this one? Hashtag GMB for Gambit. Hashtag AST for Astralis. Do Gambit have bucket hats? We don't know, but we definitely know Astralis do. If they win, hopefully you're going to get yourself some.
Hopefully, no matter what.
Yeah, hopefully.
But
you're gonna have to work hard for those boys. You're gonna have to work hard on those ones. Let's talk about Gambit though, because it's not actually that long since they were promoted from the youngsters lineup, and they've got Hobbit in their ranks now. Obviously, he joined them back when they were youngsters as well. They are looking like an incredibly scary team, and really before we went into this tournament, the tier 1 teams, they probably knew about them, of course, but really didn't think much about having to take them down.
they just don't run into each other enough, right? That's the big thing. They can see their trajectory and be like, damn, that's cool, they're sleeper, but we'll have to wait until a playoff bracket like this to expect to face off against them. You know, Gambit are a team that most often are not going to be in events of this caliber and are going to get eliminated early on, but the trajectory is just undeniable. They are going to the moon.
I wanted to quiz you guys, if you want to do some trivia.
Sure.
Okay, so out of their last 20 matches, guess how many they've won?
18.
19.
You're absolutely right. They've won 19 of those
Damn it,
victories.
get smoked.
Of those victories, how many maps did they drop?
4.
5.
Fuck.
Oh!
sorry.
Yes. And many of those wins were regional matches. They went up against the likes of Force and Amiga, but also Virtus Pro and Spirit, who are looking incredibly strong. You're so proud of yourselves in the moment.
Well, I just smoked him by playing the Price is Right
right
2
on,
times
yeah.
back to back.
That's true. We'll get you a Max Burger. So they've also, in the words of Blame F, they've also shredded the competition here as well, Complexity and Cloud9, as we've already discussed. So I don't think they're underdogs going into this. They are.
Yes, they are.
Do you think they're underdogs
Of course
going
they
into
are.
this?
You're talking about Astralis. Talking about Astralis with Glaive back at the helm, better calls than we've seen in months, and Zipnik's performing
I mean,
alongside
you don't even
everybody
have
else.
to say any of that. They're still underdogs until they play against Astralis and beat them.
That is true, but we've got Shiro, okay? This man
Yeah.
can just like take down, he can hold down the bomb site, literally just entrance with an AWP, just like that. We've got Axile. This is, hang on a second, that's Nafani. That's Shiro, we can see on screen. Brilliant, thank you very much, production, well done. I had a card over his face. So yeah, Shiro, he is, as you keep calling him, Poggly Pocket Simple. This is their impact player. He can
Mighty
seemingly
Max
do
Simple,
anything.
I guess, maybe.
Mighty Max Simple, good. As opposed to McDonald's Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
I don't know who that would
not
be.
discount in some sense. Yeah.
We've got Axel. He is the hard lurker. He can turn rounds round, and he's a big reason why Gambit, when they are down, when they're 2 players down, and say Astralis, as we go into this match, we've got 5 players left, Gambit are not going to panic. They're just going to create chaos, and they're going to benefit from it. They've got the experience of Gambit. They have Nafani, who can top a server. He's a bit like an Alex in that. He can top frag. Just at the blink of an eye, and you have Inters, he's their 5th player, but he has got the sharpest aim on the server, according to Hobbit. This is a team that has all the elements. They just don't have the experience.
Yeah, that's the only thing. So it'll be a test. They go up against, Nafani versus Glaive. And because there's nothing else to prepare for, it's of course the hardest once you get the couple of upset wins, because then other teams take you more seriously. So it'll be a real test now that we're in playoffs, and Astralis have no choice but to respect the fact that Gambit have gotten this far. So there's going to be reverence across the board a little bit more. Like whoever was first to lose to them, if it was Complexity or whatever, you can't blame them as much for sleeping. But for Astralis, if they do lose, then that's going to be, they're basically their cornerstone performance of the whole tournament.
Well, let's hear from Hobbit, because it's interesting to know what he thinks about the fact that they've beaten 2 very impressive teams in this tournament already.
On DreamHack Masters, we have goal to play as much as possible best of 3s. We need to take some experience from this tournament. It's very important. First of all, if we're gonna go through the final, it means we play a lot of best of 3s. That's good.
Throughout this game, Axel's just pushing on it. He's feeling it. He wants to close it out. He believes it can happen here. He's right on the spot. He takes down Floppy as well, but then his teammate finishes him off. They're going to give Cloud9 a way in. They've got to be oh so careful. He pulls out the pistol. It's not working out. Now it's all on Hobbit, but the nade comes in. Hobbit, he did it on a major before, and he's done it again when it matters the most. Grenades are flying, and Mezzi goes down.
I think we're ready to any enemies, any opponents, it doesn't matter. If we're gonna play versus better team, it's better for us, because we're gonna get more experience.
It's going to be almost impossible. For JKS now, what it's going to take is a fake tap and then gambling on the right position. He's got to make a guess, and it has to be the right one. Otherwise, Hobbit would just get away with it. He's tapping the bomb. Coming now. Which is going for the two. Taking just charge.
Okay. That's confident.
Be ready, guys. Gambit is coming to you.
Well,
Love that.
let's talk about Astralis then. What have we learned about Astralis this week? Glaive is back to calling again. If he buys the Negev, it's not his masterminded game plan. It is actually just simply a misbuy. And Magist is able to focus on being a superstar who can take any number of enemies down. Do you think we're back to Astralis full strength yet, Scrawny?
I think we're getting there. I mean, it's going to be a few more reps before we can kind of believe in like the level of consistency we used to get from them. But it's very obvious that they're reaching back to their ceiling. You know, we saw the same Xyp9x in the clutch. We saw Magisk yesterday, so crucial versus G2. Even in overtime, like he literally won clutches back to back. Yeah, I think we are starting to get the Astralis we lost once upon a time.
Here's, again, going back to Gambit quickly, why I am thinking it's going to be even. No, I am contractually obligated to predict Astralis. But, so, on Inferno, which is meant to be one of Astralis' best maps, right? They were really challenged in that second half when G2's individuals came on form. So if Gambit's individuals come on form and they can play separately, they can play as a team. You really don't think it matters?
Not on Inferno, no.
Really?
Look at how Cloud9 lost that last game. It was dying to nades every single round. Like, yeah, that's where you really separate who's good. It's just how good you are on the map when it comes to the grenades. They beat Cloud9, but Cloud9 are not a solid Inferno team yet. They've won, I think, one of their 4 matches that they played on it. So there's just asterisks there. They still might want to come to it, but if they can beat like Astralis on Inferno, that'll say a lot. G2, they play against Astralis on Inferno every week.
Yeah, to be fair, that's Gambit's weak spot, is their Inferno. Their B-hold can sometimes look a little bit shaky at times. For Hobbit, sometimes he's left there on their own, his own, and they're not necessarily contesting Banana as much as they should. They're not denying that map control that they need to. However, if we go to Vertigo, I think that's going to be super interesting because this is the map that they beat Cloud9 on initially, and we've now seen that Astralis are feeling very confident about their own Vertigo, and they're also thriving in that chaos on their T side. They are teasing pushes on the ramp. They're heading off. They're getting themselves a coffee. 30 seconds later, they're like, actually, you know what? We will go ramp. So I think if it comes down to Vertigo, what should we expect from Astralis?
Yeah, that'll be a cool one. They had a close bout of it versus Cloud9, who's Vertigo. It seemed like they want to play it kind of, but they've been kind of losing. They lost to Mouse on it. They lost to Astralis narrowly, and I think they have a third loss as well. So there's something there. But yeah, what we saw was really promising stuff on the T side. It was such a deep game, hard to follow for Astralis.
Well, let's check in with Glaive. I can't do the eye thing because I'm clearly not clever enough. Let's see what he had to say about yesterday's match and this one.
Of course, I think G2 is a really good team, but it just feels like that we won a lot of rounds that we maybe should not have won. In the end, we won in overtime. Mag is back to his old role. He did great, and yeah, I'm just happy that the team did good today.
Flashbang starts around the corners, Magisk pops to the box, and Xyp9x starts to spray. It's Magic working wonders in overtime.
We're starting to getting used to getting into quarterfinals. Now we just need to progress from here. Let's not go out with a bang from the quarterfinal again. We're going up against a team which is going to be a tough opponent. So I'm looking forward to play the quarterfinals, but I'm happy that we managed to do this, especially me coming back as the main in-game leader.
Device though, he has their back turned and they line up. He shaves Nap off of the play. He's got 58 health left over. We saw Twist with some sick clutches on Vertigo, but he's already got no gun out, and that is an easy pickup for Device.
Going up against Gambit in the quarterfinal, it's of course going to be a very tough match because they have played really good the last few games. Actually, they have just insane win rate on all of their map. So I'm looking forward to play against them, see how they play, and I know that they have great individual players and they also have good tactics. So yeah, I know that we have to bring our A game to beat them right now because they're looking so sharp. So I'm looking forward to the quarterfinal.
No, I still can't do it. I think we're going to have to ask him in the post-match interview. We've got to go super fast into our map veto. Astralis, they ban Mirage. Gambit ban Nuke. Astralis are probably going to pick Inferno, and Gambit need to think about Astralis' weaknesses here because they both have 6 strong map pools.
Yes.
I think Vertigo. Yep, overpass left. Yep. Okay.
That's very cool.
I'm really, really happy about this one, boys. I'm so excited that we get to start on Vertigo because Astralis are doing exciting things. Launders needs more time to unpick what Astralis are bringing to this map because it's incredibly complicated. And we know that Gambit can pop off. Your Twitch chat vote has come in. The results are 27% to Gambit, 73% to Astralis. But who is going to be giving it 100% on the server? These two, obviously. We'll see you after the break. This is DreamHack Masters Winter. We're into our third quarterfinal of the day, and it's Astralis versus Gambit. Yes, Gambit may be underdogs according to Launders, but they are going to bring so much fight to the opening map of Vertigo. And before we get into it, we've got a little bit of an update because we now know the Mousesports are going to be facing Godsent in the semi-finals tomorrow. And, yeah. I mean, you surprised, right?
Yeah. I mean, I thought Godsent were making a nice little run through the bracket. I think that Godsent versus North is the reason we see them in the playoffs. You know, and that lower bracket game kind of had an asterisk next to it just because Astralis was there too. Did not expect to see them move on in the playoffs.
Well, we're going to head into this map now, but Launders, you're right about Emmy.
Emmy goated. He didn't do too great in that series, but they got the W. Only score that matters is the one at the top. That's what you got to remember. This would be such a big series for Gambit for a couple of reasons. They beat Na'Vi twice, I believe, on their way up in this 20 or 18 or whatever it is map win streak. But they have 0 Tier 1 wins on both Inferno and Vertigo. The only team that they beat that could potentially be called Tier 1 is Cloud9. So Astralis should be a cut above in terms of competition. And we'll see how prepared and ready they are to take down these giants. We've got one of the sandbags played. He's going to catch one off guard. Hero with a whip back takes that instant duel.
It's a good recovery. We saw Astralis with a lot of counterplay versus Liquid on Vertigo. They were able to deny multiple bomb plant positions. Like, this is just a well-prepped Astralis. Vertigo, one of their maps where you can overwhelm opponents despite their best efforts. Gambit walking up, finding a bomb plant, finding nothing thereafter. Astralis will win first pistol.
Just some good nades here from Astralis. Plant goes down, which is nice for Gambit, and they avoid getting double naded on the plant, which is great for them coming into this next round. But yeah, this is pretty much that. From behind the smokes, they do a lot of the effort with some well-placed utility. And now the buy-up is going to be Shiro on an AK and everybody else just evening out. It looks like Nafany's the one to invest for Shiro. What a guy.
I've got a little fact for you guys, courtesy of the amazing Mark Winther from the DreamHack team. The coaches in Astralis and Gambit used to duke it out in CS 1.6.
Oh.
Groove for Gambit, and of course,
yeah,
Sonic. Yeah, Groove used to play for Virtus Pro.
Really cool. Well, that's awesome. And it seems like he must be, you know, quite the coach. So cool to have a story like Gambit going from Gambit youngsters to just becoming the main roster. That's the dream situation for these orgs that start these development rosters. And I mean, could it have worked out better? Didn't even have to make a roster move. That's how strong they are.
I also like the fact that in this team, of course, we still have Hobbit.
Yeah.
The original Gambit, right?
Definitely.
Like when Gambit was a top-tier team, when Gambit were winning majors, Hobbit looked like one of the best players to come out of Kazakhstan. And I think that still reigns true. Obviously, with the transitions that happened all around him, it's understandable that we haven't really heard from him as of late.
When they arrived after winning that major at the airport, they were greeted by the Prime Minister or the President, whoever it is, of Kazakhstan at the airport. And to congratulate them for their win. How amazing is that?
Talk about feeling like heroes. And they were. Tremendous victory.
Love this storyline. The third X-Men.
Yeah, the one nobody expected.
Yeah.
First team to beat the Colossus and the Juggernaut.
Are they gonna
Zipnik's still
Zip gonna
sitting
get away with this
behind
twice?
standby. No,
Oh,
he's gonna get wrecked by the Deagle. That one AK comes in with 3 kills. Shiro taking it all on his own. And Dupree, well, he's just been tagged up from the back, so now he knows Hobbit's behind him and knows Interest was taking the position away from his teammate. He does a little bit more chip damage. Dupree opting to go aggressive, trying to cut this player out from his cover, but because of the timing, Inter's on high alert, can't do much about it. Glocks out, shots landing. Dupree closing the distance, back in with the 10-second stick, but Hobbit calls it out, and Gambit used that one AK to take back round 2.
Some great trades, and the Deagle rundown on the sandbag, Zipnik standing there twice. It looked like they were going to avoid him, but very smart to go ahead and clear that angle. And yeah, Shiro, these wicked fast trades. We talk about him, and this is only on the AK. Wait till he gets up on the op. That's the really scary version of Shiro that we'll see soon.
Just because this game had to get started, we didn't get a chance for our predictions to be locked in. And Frank, you've been talking a big Gambit game. I want to know the official lock.
Oh yeah.
The
Astralis
official
is
lock for
listening.
me
Yeah.
is Astralis, because if I don't say Astralis, you
interesting.
won't get your hat.
Oh, it's not for us. I mean, we got our own predictions. Frankie, go ahead.
Don't make me the reason.
You can say that you predict Gambit. It's fine.
Would you like to change your mind?
Go ahead.
Final shot.
No, I'm not going to change my mind, but I do want people to appreciate that
Oh,
Gambit,
yeah,
they're not just some like fluky underdog team that came in and won because they surprised people.
Nope.
They won because they deserve to be here.
Oh, hell
They
yeah.
put the work in, and they're one of the teams we should be watching for the future.
Yeah, they've got a 16-5 twice versus Complexity and a 16-6 versus Cloud9 as well. You are dead on, Frankie. And so are Gambit. Dead on within this A site. Every single kill with not a tidbit of damage going back the other way. Gambit, very strong showing on this A site to deal with what was a pesky Astralis. Mohan, official prediction.
Astralis 2-0.
What's yours?
Gambit are going to lose.
How dare you?
I think this is going to be a real hands-full match, though, for Astralis. I'm glad that you keep reiterating all those strong points. They have so much momentum, but it's just we haven't seen them versus the Tier 1 caliber of teams. This is their test, and oh, is it ever a hard one.
Complexity wins were the big one. Even more legitimate than the Cloud9 victories, but they weren't on Inferno or on Vertigo either. Again, they have a huge win percentages, but 0 Tier 1 wins. So this is the one that they care about solely, pretty much. It's the one that really should earn you a lot of respect. On the other maps that they beat Complexity on, well, those maps, those are solid. But it says a lot about Gambit willing to pick into Vertigo at this moment. Wow, very good damage. How do you do that with 3 bullets right into the top of Nafany's shoulders?
Is this USP unsilenced? Can we go back to that?
What?
A device standing behind the call. Oh no, I guess the silencer just it blended in with the pillar. I thought he had taken the silencer off so that maybe it was shorter, but don't mind me. Hobbit be adding a kill to the tally alongside Axile. Nice Mac 10 control. Damn. Gambit making the absolute most of these weapons versus Astralis. Another round where they keep 5 players alive, assuming Dupree goes down empty-handed.
Dupree looked like he was primed for the clutch in that last round, but it was played really well by the 2 remaining players of Gambit. Almost was able to get the last kill and defuse, but now him and his whole team have been relegated to just USPs, and of course that eco from Gambit, or the force up, the reason that they're put here in the first place. Money's looking good here for Gambit. 4 alive, as Dupree tries to do a little bit more damage, and he won't get Shiro down low enough to die to the bomb. Everybody else survives, and they are up 3-1. A buy will come in here for Astralis. There's a lot of money left in the bank here for Gambit, and so far, what's been very good is them avoiding utility damage on the A ramp as part of their default. So we'll see what kind of mode of aggression Astralis will try to bring into this round here on CT side.
Made immediately down the ramp. We have Shiro back here, off in hand. And for the time being, Device not with one. And we saw some very stellar opping from Device versus Team Liquid when they faced off on Vertigo just a couple of days ago.
Interesting.
Device going to be behind these mid sandbags, welcoming the peek through middle, and sure enough, it's Hobbit and Inters. Both go down.
I was wondering if you had any support there. Dupree from up top. Now back into the B site. Nafty comes up on the A ramp. He's quite low due to some of that utility damage from early on. Looking for a key frag. Glaive, he'll eat a bit of damage. Got a teammate here to join him. Bomb is slowly making his way back up the ramp as well. Shiro up on the op, but we want to see
peek from the bottom of the ramp right now. Yep, Device finds timing. Takes an extra player down. Nafany, 18 health as he escapes the spread of the Molotov. Bit of a drawn out gunfight. Axile can't best Magisk. Nafany's got 4 players ahead of him, and his shot's also off the mark. A second round for Astralis the moment they have guns.
very tense moment here in this kind of feel-out period. Both teams meeting each other for the very first time. An early timeout call from Gambit. You love to see it. They've got enough money to buy, and they can kind of, the world is their oyster, really. They can try anything new, whatever they wanted to bring into this match to attempt versus Astralis. Of course, I think when you slow it down, this is when the edge goes even farther towards Astralis. They've got to be very careful about how long they want these rounds to be drawn out to.
The new Astralis, that should definitely have a question mark, Elliot. Gambit have the best round win percentage in 5v4s and 4v5s, the multi-kill rate and trading percentages at the tournament. There we go, an exclamation mark, even better.
Incredible dominance versus their two opponents in Complexity and Cloud9. I would like to offer to the two of you, the three of us, here's what it is. There's one abort button on the desk. One of us can push it.
Why are we doing this?
One of them can push it if you want to change your prediction at the final moment. But once one person takes it, the others can.
At the final moment?
Whenever you want to.
What do you mean whenever you want to?
Whenever you want to in this series. If you feel like Gambit's going to take it.
Is this some kind of like safe word?
What is the point? I don't understand.
Just to see.
All right.
See if anybody abandoned ship. See if you doubt Astralis. Because in that last round, things looked real strong.
Maybe we just focus on the game.
We could do that too. Nafany finding a short kill and an additional one. 3 kills from him, working up ramp. If you contrast that to the last time we had the ramp play from Gambit, absolute polar opposite. Device is just going to try and create an escape route. Do they want to take it? Dupree getting a little bit back closer to the site. Nafany really making the difference in this one.
Hobbit clean kill. Nafany taking the round into his own hands, coming up the A ramp. And they do play it a little bit faster here. I think this is a wise choice by Gambit. Again, in those mid rounds is when Astralis got very, very tricky. And Gambit decided not to leave anything up for question. So we see the row of defuse kits across the board. He doesn't actually get on the bomb to pull them back, just to smoke, but makes sure, I guess, wants to make sure he stays alive. I don't think he tapped that. There wasn't an animation issue, right? He just didn't. Yeah, just didn't reach it, I guess. I wonder if he could have actually. Is there a chance that he could have actually stopped that? That was a little bit weird. Yeah, here are all the kills. Killing them before the smokes go down. See, they're doing deep smokes on the site and trading out, putting pressure on Astralis to set up in a brand new way. Sometimes getting those smokes down as a wall on the site and then nading from behind them can just give the CTs too much of an advantage. Magisk down to a Deagle and down to 5 HP, 5-6 HP here.
Nafany looking to slip around through short. Currently, Astralis a little busy with the nades. 2 players line up, rifle included there. Magisk will get one over top of it, but it's Axile. Double kill to clear out what was the A defense. Glaive moves over. Maybe a parting gift, perhaps? Not even. Gambit, very strong start to these A site hits. It went dry the first time, but now things are working out in their favor. They've got a 3-round lead versus Astralis as the Danes buy back.
Push the button, Launders.
There's no button.
What button?
He threw it across the room.
No op in play here except for Shiro's, of course. So Astralis, what are they going to do? So Dupree's favorite piece of the map, the half wall, the wood wall over on the B side.
Zipnik's on short is going to be a key piece to this.
Oh, there's a put. That's a push, yeah.
Nice timing. Moves beyond the Molotov. He's got these other 2 CTs stuck in the shelf. Zipnik fights back.
Still, nice timing on that. That's a big opening. So much damage here on Zipix. Hobbik will refresh a position here. There's so much information gained from Gambit up the A ramp as they turn the corner, shoving Glaive back into the site.
Just going to try and retain a little bit of forward positioning here. Inters goes beyond. Nice double kill from Magisk. Shuts down the bomb carrier. Doesn't know if his flank's occupied, but Shiro's going to swap to the sidearm. Device off of that CT shelf.
The cover.
Gives him what he needs, and now it's on Hobbit. Finds one. Top box down. Bomb, though. That's still the issue. And Hobbit, he's got time to milk this. Got Dupree doubling back into the elevator room. The smoke on the bomb site's going to begin to fade. Hobbit has flashes if he wants to use it to his own accord. Device is standing in the open, and that's a duel that Hobbit could have easily won. But a little caught off by such an awkward position. Device recovers the shot. Astralis recover a round. But it's still 2 for Gambit.
These kills, man. They even let go of his mouse 1 to reset for that second frag, and he was quite low. That was a really good start for Gambit to get the opening kill to come through around the ramp.
Nafany has taken the highest percentage of opening duels at the event. To put that into context, Art is also at this event.
Nafany putting himself way out there, and we saw how that worked. Up to the sandbags, turned the corner as soon as he felt like it was time to activate, and as the IGL making himself a focal point of these rounds. 9 kills for Nafany already. A really good beginning. Now, Astralis nearly lost that round, if not for Magisk. And then, of course, the really good rotation from Device to save him in those final moments. But still, they put on a real test. Money's still good here for a Gambit. Device gets tagged down. Loses a chance here, I think, on the A ramp versus Shiro. But staying alive is, of course, the small victory.
Seen Device give good overwatch to his teammates. Stays on that back CT shelf, makes it a very difficult endeavor to try and find footing up the ramp. Dupree decides to go for a more proactive flank. He could find a couple of players. Axile was holding him in position, but now they've both left. This is very much numbers for Gambit heading to the A site, where they have found success. And this rests on the weak knees of a wounded Device and a lesser weapon, Zipnik. Now he's going to round that corner. Close eagle kill. This is a call out and aggression that works wonderfully. Magisk with another double kill, but a chance to bounce back. They're both half health, and Device still low. 40 seconds to go, and Gambit very much stuttering out on this ramp. And Dupree, well, he has to contemplate coming in for this flank, but you can see them on high alert. He takes the fight versus the player in the distance, and Shiro could make the difference. As all of a sudden, he tucks tail, coming over to this B bomb site as Nafany is still on A. He doubles back. He doubles back to the A site, and Device is left on the opposite side of the map with nothing to offer. Gambit clawing it away in the 2 versus 4.
And they call it out. Device, he gets out of there, and they keep one on the A site. Thought this was a situation where if they were low enough on time, it would have been a risk. 4 seconds left after the bomb goes down, and Device has to save. That is so strong. Dupree, he catches this timing where he has a perfect flank, and he's been playing so smart so far to come close in that clutch. We saw, you know, how aware he was, but in that moment, like, of course you're going to take the opportunity on the player farther back, but he didn't realize Shiro was still there checking the flank from a different angle. Peak wasn't tight enough. Nafany and Shiro, they'll keep on to the AKs. I think there's an op here, yeah. Okay, so we have the upgrade right away. And it's Astralis who have to save. And we're taking a look at some of the opening kills at the turn of the ramp. And these were 2 frags that came back after Astralis had it to a 4v2. They brought it to the 2v2, they caught the flank, and then they won the round from there on out. So the initial aggression from Astralis, it pays off, but they can't continue it and stay alive with the 2 players who put themselves out there. Device has the 1-op on the round. Last one was half a force, with the 1 concession in the Deagle. Gambit looked to keep the pressure high, this time testing B. A good opportunity to do it.
Perfect timing. No utility to stop them, not even any upgraded pistols, so they'll find barely any resistance. Although the little resistance that is here does still do bigger damage than it should have. We've got a couple of the pieces of Gambit low health, but Device's op never really being given its chance to shine. And even if he topples one here in the post plant, so be it. I feel like he just needs to ensure his safety. Guarantee the escape. Seven rounds for Gambit on this T side. Good to know they can charge into the B site. Whether or not they would do that versus rifles is still a question we have to ask, whether or not they need to.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea just to use it on rounds like this, on low guns. Keep your stronger rounds mainly towards A. Not often Astralis are going to try to stack towards B, so I think it's very smart. Anti-eco towards B, put pressure here. Device, they know he's opping down the ramp quite often, and Astralis will have to buy up, and this is where we'll have to see. Are they learning from what's happening? Gambit are keeping up at every single turn.
Glave's gonna get aggressive. Sometimes this is a key move from him, but the fallback, ooh, not gonna be clawed back. Shiro misses the shot. Glaive takes the chance to escape. Man advantage for Astralis. Still looking to finish this half with a lead, but they've got to stop Gambit here and now.
Damn you with the wall bang. Some residual damage from the HP. Frank, you brought up that their win conversion went down on players. It almost didn't matter. They were always able to find a way back into a round. Shiro seems like a huge part of this awareness. Finding flank kills.
Keeping an eye on the flank. Not currently needed. Astralis all on the top floor. 2 of their players here on this A site. They are far further back than when the rounds have gone the way of Astralis. Device going to be peppered by utility. Still peeks into this, misses his chance to knock Gambit down a peg. They've got that bomb on site, but it's engulfed in flames. They have to wait. Zipnix looked like he was going to challenge through the smoke, but he too buys time.
They're actually so uncomfortable.
Oh, that's big. Magis, he does extend out, and the bomb's now been thrown to the dirt, so Gambit in a hard recovery. Magis going to get on top of the orange boxes. Zipex again extends, and it's Axile with just the 1 kill. Now it's Hobbit's chance. He's got a little bit of cover. A fake plant. Cover from Shiro. A kill back from Hobbit, and barely any time left to work with. 4 seconds to spare as he dies. Astralis with a 4th. And an absolute need to bring more rounds to the scoreboard.
The smoke they're using in CT is so good. Even when they have the wall smokes down, the one that they're using in CT spawn is making Astralis really uncomfortable. Some of the nades are lined up from safety here, and their vision is obscured because of the smoke. So Magisk had to push and get a kill, and Gambit are specifically trying to displace this by putting pressure in that way. It's working out well so far. Device getting chased up the ramp. The Molly guising the footsteps. Device gets a frag grenade kill, and Zipix, will he be able to fall back? No, he'll stand and fight, and he'll get a kill off of it. Magisk to refresh the position, and he's not done yet.
Ooh, but Shiro decides he is done. Takes it over. Zipex feeling the need to commit as he came around for the sandbags, but a missed op shot. Shiro's gonna punish that one, take him into the 2v2. And Dupree, well, he's already downstairs. At the same time, Inters is upper. And Glaive's gonna catch him, so now Shiro, he has everything to do on his own, and he only has a quarter health. dupreeh on the ladder. He was going upstairs until Glaive caught that kill from elevator to construction. If that doesn't happen, if that player slips by, then there's no guarantee dupreeh doubles back to get that final kill.
Well, they definitely made it very interesting in these mid-round moments. Astralis, they go for that duel. That's a missed op shot from Device. The punishments from Shiro have been on point, like he's keeping up, of course. And there is respect for them. They're playing it cool, waiting to see what comes their way. It's a pistoling round here, mostly Tech 9s. Let's see what they can do with just the Tech 9s on this round.
Oh, misses the mark. MP9 from Zipex, good for a double. And Magisk, he's the next line of defense. 2 Tech 9s, that last smoke thrown. Molotov over towards the ramp so we can focus on the short. Bomb carrier, not even close to this site. Still more than a minute on the mark, but by showing players on the A site, and bringing that bomb back over, Nappany, well, he's gonna try to get aggressive there. Smoke grenade faded, and so did his chance at making much impact. And sure enough, one after another, they all fall at the hands of Magisk. His individual level was so good versus G2 yesterday, and he, even in the post-game interview, mentioned by no longer having that role of the leadership, he can focus on his individuals and his performance, and wow, has he ever given us one already at the start of this BO3.
Yeah, definitely looking very sharp. We saw him in that 1v2 versus G2 outside of construction. That was the one where it was like, okay, he's very switched on at the moment. So another attempt at the buy here from Gambit. Got 7 T rounds, a pretty good T half so far. Nappany pushing up for the duel. He'll win it straight on versus Glaive. He takes some damage in the process, but there'll be no trade on the fallback. He's down to 8 HP, but Gambit, they get away with an opening frag, and this will dissuade Astralis from maybe being overly aggressive on the ramp. But how can they manufacture a refrag? This is a strong position. Let's see how Gambit play it.
Let's see what exactly Astralis let them do. We have seen Astralis at times in these disadvantageous situations get aggressive and take players aback.
This does open up Device a little bit more, who's already pushed up.
Yeah, could definitely justify extending into this, but we've got players over towards that B site. There's going to be a lot of pressure on dupreeh right now. dupreeh right now delivers 3! All 3 kills on the B hold, playing back by Quad. They tried to transition into him, and he lays down the lead.
Damn, I'm telling you right now, dupreeh is playing smart. He came close to winning some of those retakes. It was too many of his teammates were dead the whole time, but he's clearly on very good form at the moment. Look at how he outduels all 3 of them around the box. He definitely could have got traded at any moment, just one headshot to connect. But Gambit will be back to mixed buy. They've got 3 Galils and 2 pistols.
Molotov a little bit late versus dupreeh. You see it pop as he's already taken 2 players down. He wasn't made uncomfortable. Zipex gonna get 1 kill off of the short. Frag grenade could find him. It drops him to 44.
Ooh, Nappany carefully playing with this position. Magic's sitting in the exact same spot. 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, 2 players, in fact, on top of that box. And look, they get aggressive. Glaive extends around the side of the crane. Banked grenade onto the head of no one. Could have been far worse. Inters wasn't far off the mark. Seems like they still want to contest this short side. It's the final round of Gambit's T side. It started off beautifully, but this has been a recovery from the CTs. Astralis getting their feet beneath them. Still not too late for Gambit to finish with a lead, but they'd have to completely shatter this 2-man advantage. They've got 3 smokes and a Molotov for their final execute of this T side. And we could even see the boost here to get vision over top of the smokes. But there's not actually anybody over on that shelf. Shiro's going to remain on ramp. And if they can, Gambit, they're just hoping to plant this bomb from short side, never needing Shiro to come into the engagement. But Inters denied his initial bomb plant attempt, and Wallbang would have got him off it. They know he's still there.
He's thinking skinny.
Flashes come over the top for the CTs. Nice headshot from Axile. That's what they need. They need to cut down the CTs as they peak, but it's all on Shiro, and he may have damaged Magisk, but he's got two other players coming in closer, and he took Magisk to 12. He took Dupree to 10, but it's Astralis to take this half to 8 and leave things split down the middle as we take a break.
Soul and he's come far, living alone and stood proud. He's gonna show the world. He's got gold down in his bones. He don't care, warming his hands up. A big deal, king of his own domain. And he's not giving up without a war. Down, down, down. You can knock me down, but I will get a fight and ain't no stopping now. Hit me with another, and I won't make a sound, 'cause I keep getting stronger with every single round. It's all change, flowers and bloom as he moves on. People are rooting from a full turn, nobody's shooting now. Times fly, building his home and a new wife, showing him true love. A made man, living his dream for real. And he's not giving up without a war. Down, down, down. You can knock me down, but I will get a fight and ain't no stopping now. Hit me with another, and I won't make a sound, 'cause I keep getting stronger with every single round. Down, down, down. You can knock me down, but I will get a fight and ain't no topping now. Hit me with another, and I won't make a sound, 'cause I keep getting stronger with every single round. Down, down, down. You can knock me down, but I will get a fight and ain't no stopping now. Hit me with another, and I won't make a sound, 'cause I keep getting stronger with every single round. You can knock me down, can't get me down. You won't take me down, you won't take me down. Every single round.
A justifiable map pick from Gambit gave them 7 rounds on the T side of Vertigo, but Astralis, and most notably Magisk, definitely took things back a step. They do have a 1-round lead, but they take to the T side of their opponent's map pick, and we've got to see who's going to step up. 16-8 in the first 15 rounds, and Magisk kicks off Pistol with another frag to his name.
They immediately stop on the ramp after they get this opening and wait to see if there are any tricky positions that might be played here from Gambit. Of course, a re-aggression is in order from the CT side. Lots of ways to peek and find an opening. No utility to support in this situation. Not the biggest deal in the world. Not a really good position for Gambit in terms of retake potential. So trying to win by early kills first would be huge. Aggressive angle here from Nafany onto the ramp as he sits and waits, and players are coming in. Oh no, he gets the headshot, but he doesn't get the kill. How does even do that much damage? I don't know. Inters will catch the fallback though, and it looks like Astralis. They're getting aggressive on everybody running down the A ramp. All the CTs coming through like a storm, pushing Xipix back off the short shelf. All alone, it's Inters to pick up 4. Every single kill coming up from 6 off the first half. nearly doubling his kills in the pistol round.
The tempered aggression, perfectly timed. This first frag, oh, we're not going to get to see it. Enters from behind sandbags.
When did he even sneak in here? I thought there was no one sandbags for a second. He just walked over.
How does Device not die?
I don't even know.
Right?
I was like, I thought that was like definitely a clean headshot, but still, they win the round.
Yeah, whatever it is. In the end, he's not even really needed. Enters, huge play.
This was the half that came close for Liquid, but was very, very difficult the whole way through. Astralis caused them tons of problems. I think Gambit found a really cool smoke they used for their execs that smoked into CT spawn as they were coming into the site, made Astralis uncomfortable. But like you said, Magis really started to get comfortable. And they're playing from the top of default, which they never do before. That ended up actually working out quite well.
Smoke in their faces. Still, they're going to keep up this pace. They've got very little to lose. Oh, what? Glaive just spamming the smoke somehow finds a Glock headshot. Well, that doesn't make much sense now, does it? Enters even at a distance, also taking one to the face. Hobbit's going to slip into the short side. Easy execution. Glaive has slipped. Oh, Glaive slips by him.
There is...
Glaive slipped by him.
Did he walk by him in lower?
Yeah, in the forklift room.
They're going to come back. Can he plant?
Easy plant.
Oh my goodness, there's no one here at all.
They do not understand how he escaped. They crossed paths
Did he
down
watch
at the
it?
bottom of ramp. I'm not even sure. I just caught it out of the peripheral. Glaive definitely knew he had the timing. And now Enters, who Glaive or Device tagged up early, was almost susceptible to death with another Glock shot. That's a weird moment.
The plant means a whole bunch more utility into this next round. So that's a pretty big find to just have that with the Glocks alone. Yeah, I don't know. Did Glaive make a play there where he saw his opponent didn't shoot, or what happened? This is also a pretty randy kill. I think if Shiro has head armor there. Kind of, oh yeah, he does.
Yes,
okay, I see. Wow, around
Hey,
the box.
You get what you get.
He's happy about the plant.
Glaive's like, I don't know how I did any of that.
Okay, 1 round lead here for Gambit coming off the pistol. Plant means the buy, pretty even keeled. Let's see how the CT side looks. Astralis, they did have to work hard on their T side, but they put together some really, really creative stuff. But the same can be said for Gambit coming out of that first half. This is one of the most intense matches so far, just right off the jump. Here, learning about Gambit after coming off the 2-2-0 victories. Axel loses duel in B. Molotovs come full exec. First rifle round into B. Maybe less expected, and Enters gets punished, sitting beside the parts of the wall, leaning on the wall.
He did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Just standing there, minding his own business.
Just a normal position. Sometimes the smokes that get thrown down can zone you whether you know it or not, right? Like here, I'm going to watch the corner of this smoke, and I'm going to stand here because it's natural. And then, of course, smokes are not walls, so if Astralis are prepared for that, that could be just simply part of the protocol. That's just what it's all about on Vertigo. It's a messy map with messy strats. Instantaneous save here for Gambit. So we keep the 3 rifles, still fine for them. Some money left over. But yes, the Gambit, kind of like they had the, so far, they're kind of like the Astralis of the Tier 2, if that makes sense. The one Tier 1 team that came in their way, Na'Vi, they won over twice in their insane map win streak. They beat them 2 times. In the CIS, Na'Vi are probably the most studied team, naturally. In general, in the world, Astralis is going to be that roster.
Astralis put up 708 damage with utility in the first half, an average of 47.2 per round.
And it's a consistent feature for them.
Yep.
Inferno HE grenades are what define the Astralis era.
And Dust 2 yesterday as
and
well.
Dust 2, oh yeah.
They had like 1,000 after the first half.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
I would say like
that's 10 humans, 1,000 damage.
Human beings stacked high. 9 rounds each. We've got an interesting first map.
I'm surprised Astralis went through the B hit. It's very risky, right? Like V hits in general to do versus full rifles. We saw Gambit were very careful about when they went to B. They used it versus weak buys so they could make it seem like they were hitting B sometimes. So some of the smokes go down on the A ramp. They push the CTs back. Glaive pushes up aggressively for information. We saw this free aggression on the pistol run that was so curious. And now Gambit will be tested from within the site. How will they deal with this? Dupree is sitting back here. And we saw versus Liquid what Dupree did in this position. They flashed in, they tried to clear out the lower stairs, and then they figured out that they could take the B site. But just because he's sitting there doesn't mean he's going to turn the corner. Oh my god, through the wall. Nafany from 100 to 0. Straight through yellow. Trying to hold short shelf, and they know he was on the way there.
And just
how the hell?
Into the barrier. Big gap in this smoke. But is it a trap? Shiro floats nearby. Dupree and Axile, a game of patience, where Dupree has the better of the weaponry. Astralis sitting on the final 45 seconds, and they begin to work towards B. We just mentioned Axile, but he laid down this smoke grenade. He's playing Dupree's position.
Yeah, he's playing. This is Dupree's hallmark position on top of the half-wood at the B site, and I think Dupree saw him walk back up the stairs.
But he leaves.
Okay, they'll move back, but it's mostly about the B stairs being cleaned up, and Device somehow finds another kill.
And enters, well, he was just floating closer to the B site. He doesn't actually leave right away, and with the utility, yeah, he's gonna stick around. It's the double FAMAS here to try and hold, and that second position catches them off guard ever so slightly. Hobbit, 1v4, clean first pickup. 6 seconds left. He knows there's a player coming from the A site, and Device gonna walk right into the crosshair to slay him.
It's Tom cruising in.
Headshot immediately from Device, and we've got Gambit now with a broken economy. So Astralis, 1 round lead and a chance at momentum.
The team that wins, of course, is the team that can adapt, especially in a feel-out game. That's insane. I was wondering how he did that. He literally hit him with probably 9 or 10 bullets to be able to get that kill straight up through the wall. Typically, when you're going for the yellow wall spams, you're just trying to do 50 damage, soften them up for the execute. Not nail a kill like that, just lucky timing from Device, but still, of course, he's done it a million times. Pretty insane for him to grab 3 frags by himself when the plan was to go B. Definitely will walk sideways into him. Of course, just USPs on this one. And Dupree takes a dink. He falls back. He's got a full kit to work with. Probably wants to start dumping it at some point.
Quick B stack. Bomb left down at the depths of A. Magic's gonna take construction, maybe? Options open, obviously. It's just a matter of dodging these USPs. And so far, so good. They're gonna split into the A site through middle.
It's crazy how interconnected Astralis can be when they get this far spread out. They're just really good, just being 5 fingers on one hand, as Shox would say. Kind of operating at multiple points of the spider web. Dupree, low on HP, going ahead. Get a lot of kills, actually, for how little health he has. And end up with all 4. 4 CTs dead. The quartet dead on the same spot.
Do what you gotta do.
All right, this is the big guns round. Axile drops it over. And we just revisit the quick mow down. Again, just taking 1 point of damage. Not all swinging at the same time. Probably would have done the job. Smoke onto the A ramp. Nafany will take a quick peek. Oh my goodness, he's going high and over. Oh, he'll get tagged by a grenade. That might hurt his chances here. Yeah, that is quite unfortunate. That little bit of information compromises his position completely. Shiro. Oh my god, is Device going to walk right by him?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Shiro finds him.
I don't even know that.
Like a homing missile.
Oh my god, but all the while, look at this.
Able to take over middle. Then that angle, deep. Real deep. Finds Shiro, trying to rotate over, and there's the final kill. Shiro made that look scary for a second, but Astralis, they peeled away from that A site like a bat out of hell.
That was nuts. As soon as he got the kill, I mean, this is really unfortunate for Nafany because he comes flying onto the ramp, but he gets hit in the chest by a smoke grenade. And then, of course, his position is known. He can no longer make the play he wants to make. You know Astralis are listening in for that.
It's okay, you peek. Shiro has averaged more flash assists per round than anyone else, he's even with Naf, at this event.
Even with Naf, more flash assists. Who knew Naf was doing that much support?
What the hell's going on?
And Shiro, actually. That's pretty cool. I'd like to see that.
Naf's been doing a lot of AWPing on the maps we saw, I guess, at this event.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. He has been getting closer and closer to a primary every day. Primary source of support here for Astralis, as we've seen lately, is Magisk.
21 and 10.
Yeah. And I really feel like Dupree is just, again, I feel like he's going under the radar just a tiny bit. Some of the rounds that he's gotten close, but I feel like he is definitely in a pop-off mood at the moment, playing very smart. Oops. You just got to cancel.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a tricky boost. Like, it doesn't look like it, but it's a little bit awkward.
Not really room for two. Enters. Maybe room for two, because that first Eagle headshot comes so quickly, and he's got Shiro nearby to support him.
Just trying to gang up on this AK.
Let's see. I mean, it's a man advantage, at least for Gambit. They could really use a round like this, where they're not meant to win. There are guns in the ceiling.
Did he just throw? Oh, he threw that up into the ceiling.
Yeah.
Cool. Very, very crafty.
Like in the movies.
No Country for Old Men. It's like throwing the suitcase into the vent.
Got to get away with the gold.
Hopefully there's no tracker on it.
They're stacking up on this A site, though.
30 seconds.
Yeah. They're getting into position. Gambit, I mean, it's going to take a hell of a pistol play, but it could work out. CZ good for the first one, and then it's just Astralis across the kill feed. Magisk, the saving grace.
Well, still kudos for, you know, picking the right sites, getting close nearly. I mean, it's kind of one kill and everything comes tumbling down. We don't see that version of reality. Instant buyback. And I think Astralis caught him a little bit off guard with the early B hit. That one is quite interesting. But it's really just this game with Device on one side and Dupree on the other side, and them ping-ponging information off of each other, almost both working as lurkers. That seems really hard to overcome.
Shiro, maybe a more aggressive angle this time. The option is his, but the opposition is Device.
A bit more patience.
Just missed the head. Oh, give him a second chance. A Device not going to let you get away. 5 versus 3 here for Astralis. Shooting for their 14th round. Hobbit, good damage through Tarp, falls back. 63 HP for him. He comes back at it, and Glaive's going to catch him. Immediate rotate over towards the B site. Despite Dupree leaving for a moment, they second guess it. They know Inters is there. And so they will still commit to the A site. It is completely theirs for the taking. Astralis, they will have 14 rounds, leading by 5. And Gambit, well, it's been quite some time that we haven't seen them with a CT round win. They picked up that pistol, they converted for 2. That took them from 7 to 9. And then it's been nothing but Astralis ever since.
Yeah, and I think Astralis still have a little bit more in the bag, because right now it's like Device is able to win rounds by himself. On these last 2 rifle rounds, he got 3 kills on the 2 entries. When they went towards B, he just was there alone. We weren't even watching him because the group up was going towards B. And on this round, he finds the op kill on Shiro. He grabs a second frag. Glaive goes untraded. Some close calls, but of course, you know, you've got to trust Shiro to take that duel. That 1v1 opening on the ramp. Some days you're going to win it, some days you aren't. Right now, Device is shooting hot. And I think we might have a save. I don't know how much money they've got left over. That's also another really great kill. Definitely talk about Kenny S watching demos. He talked about watching Device a lot. Called him the best opter for a few years now. That's what he said about Device. His demos are so palatable. Like every position he plays, it's so calm. It's like you watch a Kenny S demo, you've got to kind of emulate some of the aggression. But with Device, you can copy and paste. He's just so smart about his positions. Hobbit will go down after doing some damage. That's another opening kill here for Device.
Gambit have been pretty incapable of taking the depth of this A ramp until now. This is the furthest we have ever seen them get. And even then, it cost them Hobbit's head.
It can kind of be a trap to get this far down the A ramp. It's very nice to have control of it, but you sometimes just want to leave. Yeah, I think it does make sense for Gambit. There's not actually a lot of great positions down there to hold from, is the real double-edged sword. So you're encouraged because it's hard to win, but sometimes you don't want to keep it. And all the while, again, they keep their options open with Dupree. He always gets B stairs control. He hasn't died once so far in control of the map.
This could be a really powerful position from Nafany, but it's just the FAMAS. That's what worries me. Although he does slip between 3 players and finds the one that had the least amount of health, Shiro, a helping hand. But there should still be a player right next to him. Yeah, Glaive turned back. Shiro kills one of the 2 players that move beyond him, but they didn't know about the other. A great moment of recovery from Glaive, and Magisk jumping up somehow finds that headshot.
No nades.
And Inters has no way to contest that bomb plant. Glaive's going to go ahead and challenge over the box, finding Axile through smokes. It's like Glaive has some kind of infrared vision this map, man. Every time, every round, he seems to be finding damage or kills through the smokes.
Yeah, he's through the smokes all the time. Yeah, they're definitely firing off on all cylinders. Inters, he's alone, he'll have to save. He's just a B player. And again, the only time he caught action, which just really rocks you mentally. Like, does that mean there's going to be a lot more B hits? Damn, we let them win that B round. No retake potential. We've had a pretty abysmal CT side here from Gambit. And I want to say that there's still hope for them to bring it back, but they haven't given themselves confidence that they can win any kind of round, whether it's a slow one, a mid round, or anything here on the CT side. And now they'll have to hear the match point sound ring off every single round as they attempt to force back in to this game. 3 FAMASes already. If that's not a sign of poverty, I don't know what is. 4, in fact, to pair with the M4 of Shiro.
7 consecutive round wins coming out of Astralis to find 15. And an 8th to seal the deal. Device will be flashed. I like the aggression. I respect the fact that they want this fight. They've taken a knee a couple of times because of Astralis's fury.
Nice kill, man.
They stand up time after time.
Oh, what?
Slips in through mid. Smoke grenade over on the elevator. That blocks off 2 players from Gambit. They still have a player down at the base of the stairs, but Axile knows he's compromised. He gets flashed by Glaive, who looked over here but didn't see him. And now Axile had another chance, but Zipnik's on high alert, looks to bring this back into the B site. Shiro trying to fight with Hobbit by his side. Now he has to do it all. Last smoke grenade thrown, dying out to Magisk, who looks wonderful yet again today in this series. I mean, Magisk, just a step above and beyond across both yesterday's game and today's. And when we look at Gambit's performance, they had players putting up frags, but nobody to the degree of Magisk.
Well, we will be looking at Magisk, and we'll be looking at Gambit after this short break, so stick around. Gambit came out on all cylinders straight out the gate, showing that we're here to play, here to show up against Astralis, smoking out the defense in their T side. However, when the tables turned, Astralis just looked more sophisticated, more able to get things done. And Gambit, I mean, their bank was broken throughout most of that. We barely saw any full buys.
They had basically, I mean, they even won the second pistol and still didn't win a single rifle round after that. So they leveraged a good position coming into the second half, but they got outclassed on game plan. And at first, they had Astralis against the ropes, but of course, you always got to give credit to the team. We've said this for so many games at this event, for the team who wins the rounds towards the end of the half. That the team's going to feel more confident. That feels like they won. And of course, we can ask Astralis about it or Gambit about it afterwards to see what the mood was like at that moment. But it was definitely back and forth in the beginning.
Scorny, were you least impressed by the first half?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the fact that Gambit were able to force buy in the second round, were able to take over that A site a couple of times with pretty stellar conviction. Astralis went through some economic woes at the start of their CT side. And then once the economy stabilized, we saw them take over that half, finish it strong with 5 in a row. Like you talk about, it's the team that stabilizes that kind of gets the credit at the end of the day. And then all of a sudden putting a very quick end to that CT side of Gambit.
And Device showed Shiro who was boss in that second half.
He did in the second half, but Shiro definitely turned up in the first.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know how many duels he won versus Device, but
that's a really good question.
Yeah,
it would take me probably quite a while to navigate to find out that specific number.
Yeah, the back-to-back rifle rounds where Device is able to kill players by himself on the A ramp, just taking control of it, which just showed why he was a cut above.
Glaive kind of kept up that momentum he was showing us yesterday as well. He was actually 3 for 6 in opening duels, but Device was really getting it done on that ramp. As you say, 6-3 in opening kills. I was quite impressed by Gambit kind of closing their holes on the T side as well, because it looked early on like Astralis, the CTs were literally just able to creep into those post-pump positions and take them down. And then Gambit started covering their back more like that rotation we saw on ramp. I can't remember if it was Device or Dupree who came out to...
Yeah, and then Shiro was like aware of it. Yeah, the awareness from him was really good. Nafany, he played his game, like going for the opening duels as we talked about. He did that, which was great. He went for them, and some of the trades at first looked really, really strong. But yeah, again, after they stopped dying a little bit early, then they started to get control back and brought it to like a 7-8 half.
I did also look up the Vertigo that we saw against Cloud9, and Gambit won 12 rounds on their CT side. I think the overall scoreline was 12-6, so we rarely actually saw, on their CT side, on their T side. So we actually didn't really see more than, I guess, a mere handful of round wins on the CT side, because they simply didn't need them. They only needed to win 4 rounds. So in other words, I feel like maybe the Gambit CT side was a little bit untested. Untested,
yeah. And again, Astralis is the only tier 1 team they've played on Vertigo, as well as Inferno. So you can feel really confident, but sometimes that can make it hurt worse, right? If you don't have the right scrim preparation, and we don't know who they play, because certainly they're in the right circles now when it comes to practice outside of their officials. So they're probably playing against a lot of good competition, but we don't have info on that.
But we are going to go to Inferno next. This is going to be an interesting one. I didn't mention it in the pre-show, and I will mention it again, which is, for me, the B-site is still a question, because I think Astralis is really going to take advantage of the fact that Hobbit and Nafani, when he's there, they're going to sit back. They're probably going to contest with a couple of those, but they don't really resource it that heavily. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think this could be a 2-0.
It's the same mistake that a lot of teams make versus Astralis, right? It's this intimidating idea of pushing down banana versus sitting back. No matter what you do, you're going to get wrecked.
We have got to run to a break right now. And when we come back, we are going to be seeing Inferno.